Yeah, I used to tell that one, actually, the one that.
I thought that the reason I know it is
Yeah.
because you used to tell it like in middle school.
I think I did. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about friendships, and then we'll pick up on Monday. We'll start talking about guy-girl relationships, romantic relationships. Might dip our toe into marriage a little bit, but I want to harken back to what the young woman said on the video yesterday, where she said that your friendships will affect you. They can affect you for good or for ill. It depends on the friendship. And probably each of you can think of a friendship that you've had that has been really encouraging to you and has really built you up and has been, healthy and all those things. But you also probably can look back and see friendships that maybe weren't so much that way. So this is where I have Hayes help me out. So come on.
Right, Hayes, you're up.
Atheist.
So I don't know. I take a wild, make a wild guess about who is likely the strongest human being that resides under this roof each school day.
Dougsley.
I thought you were going to say Hood. I think it's this gentleman right here. So he's going to stand on the chair. And just to talk to you about being affected by your relationships, right? So, which would be easy? Do you mind holding my hand?
Yeah.
Okay. So which would be easier to do? Would it be easier for me to pull Hayes off this chair, or for him to pull me up onto the chair?
Hold down.
It'd be way easier, right? And really, I probably don't have to work that hard to do it. And I'm not that strong, right?
Yeah.
So even if you are strong in your faith, thank you, Hayes.
Yeah.
So, even people who are strong in their faith can get pulled into relationships, can become enamored in relationships that actually drag us down. And it's so much easier for that person, that friend, to drag us into what they are doing, the negative things they're doing, instead of us pulling them out. And we may even have good intentions. There's a difference, though. Remember, I gave you that word picture of being unequally yoked. There's a difference between reaching out to people and trying to disciple and to build into someone's life who maybe is in a difficult situation or has a hard time overcoming something. That's great. I'm talking about the person that you are yoked with, a person that you're yoked with, that you're in relationship with. Not, it would be absolutely true for romantic relationships as well, but I'm just talking about regular relationships, regular friendships. And so our friendships will affect us, hopefully for the better. But if it's an unhealthy friend, if it's an unhealthy friendship, it will probably be the worst. At worst, as I said, he who walks with the wise goes wise, but the companion of fools suffers harm. So your friendships will affect you. Be aware of that. And then secondly, surround yourself with the kind of friends that can build you up, that can help you grow emotionally, spiritually, and intellectually. And they use the illustration of a study group in college. I'm sure a lot of you, I'm sure the gentleman over here will definitely have study groups because they're going to have very demanding, majors. And this young woman right here, same thing. And when you do that, that's one of the reasons why I allow my classes to work together so often, because you come up with a better answer. Only if you do it right, though. What I see in the freshmen and sophomores, I don't teach the freshmen anymore, is like they'll read the question and somebody will say, "It's Tuesday," is the answer. Tuesday's the answer. I don't know what the question is, but and everybody will go, yeah, and they all write it down. that's not what you're supposed to do. It's a process, right? You discuss, you're like, yeah, but do you remember this that the book said? And well, I remember the professor saying, and you, as you work together, you come to a better consensus, a better answer. And you want people in your group that are going to be able to participate in that process, right? You aren't going to choose me as a first semester freshman bombing chemistry. I needed a chemistry study group. I could have used a chemistry study group. It's not a chemistry study group filled with students like me because I was bombing chemistry. I was trying to do chemistry on Algebra 2 math, and it was not going very well. I did get a tutor and it all turned out okay. I passed. Thank you. Yeah, and the same thing applies when we're choosing friends. And here's why this is important to me. Because you already have friends. You're like, well, I already have my friends. And you kind of have a ready-made friend group right here, 25 of you who have gone to school together. I think our newbie here is freshman year, right? Or yeah. So so for at least 4 years, and some of you probably close to 12 years, maybe 12 years. You came out of the womb together, so that's you had your own ready-made friend group right there. But that's going to change. That's going to change, right? I mean, Rachel might know somebody at Northwestern, and maybe Vanya will be there with you or somebody. But you're going to have new friends. You're going to have new groups that you're a part of, and you need to be intentional in that. You need to be aware of how your friends are going to affect you. Katie had a friend, actually, that was a roommate, and they were friends, and they remained friends and roommates. But Katie realized that relationship wasn't particularly good for her. She was kind to that friend. She helped that friend in whatever way she could, but she knew she couldn't be yoked to them. So the friends she yoked herself to, and still are her closest friends, were women that were wise and godly, and helpful to Katie, both emotionally and spiritually. And so your friends are going to affect you. So surround yourself with the right friends. Be intentional. Look for like-minded people. And get involved in groups. If Lincoln has great, campus ministries. NABS is a great campus ministry. Cru is a great campus ministry. Ratio Christi, Wesley Farewell, who came to this class. Oh yeah, is at Lincoln. I think it might also be at UNL. There are great churches in Lincoln. Find a great church. There are great churches in Orange City and in Sioux Center. And then get involved. If you're at a Christian school, get involved with the spiritual life. Get in a Bible study. Lead a Bible study. Even better. Lead a Bible study at GCU and get paid to do it. Yeah. Make sure that you're being intentional in finding like-minded people. Join a Bible study. Get involved with a local church. I'll tell you what, especially if you go to a smaller school, this is like a pro tip. Those churches, they aren't just all young people. You get grandma and grandpa who love Dort students or love Northwestern students or love Concordia students. You'd be getting some homemade meals. You'd be getting your laundry done for free. I mean, it's you can really big bank with grandma and grandpa who just love on college students. So yeah, be intentional. And then when I was little, my mom used to do cross stitches, and in my room she put a cross stitch that said the only way to have a friend is to be one. Which is kind of duh, right? But it's true that if we want to have friends, then we have to be a friend. So to find a friend, be a In order to surround yourself with the right kind of people, you need to be the right kind of person yourself. You need to be someone that mature, godly person can be equally yoked with as well. Demonstrate love for others, encourage others, and find an accountability partner. Hold someone accountable and ask them to hold you accountable. Because it's especially, you kids that are going to college, or even if you're going to be out on your own, there's all kinds of temptations out there. Even at Christian college campuses, that there's stuff going on that's not God. So yeah, reach out to others and pursue relationships with them, and be the kind of friend that. I mean, I would encourage, especially you guys. I mean, you guys are strong followers of Christ. It's great to find a friend that needs to be seen and heard and needs some emotional support. And be that kind of person who's willing to befriend somebody who maybe other people are not willing to befriend. Again, you need to be careful that you don't get sucked into their issues, but be a friend that is willing to help others. So I'm going to give you a cautionary tale. When I left for college, and I was, at that time, it was about a 6-hour drive. It's less now. It was 55 miles an hour on the interstate back in the day. Yeah.
Were you saved?
What?
Were you saved?
Yes, I was. Yes. And I wanted to go to St. Olaf so bad, and my sister was there. My sister was a senior when I was a freshman, and it never occurred to me that I would be homesick until I was horrifically homesick. Now, the way to deal with that is to, what my grandmother used to say, like, get out amongst them, I think is what she said. Like, the way to deal with it, I mean, usually on college campuses, and especially smaller schools, they have all kinds of activities to do, and they help you get to know people, and they put you in groups, and a lot of times, like for me, my very best friends to this day live, across the hall on the same wing as I did, and that wing, it was called a corridor. For every, I don't know if they still do this, but for every corridor, which was either a part of a floor or all of the floor, they had 2 juniors that lived with you and were your JCs, junior counselors. And those became your friends. And 2 of them are still my closest friends to this day. But instead of taking part in the pig roast and in the dance and in all the different things that they had to do, I stayed in my room and cried and had a huge pity party. Don't do that. I would have acclimated to school much faster and much better had I gotten out and met some people. And I ended up meeting people, loving my time at St. Olaf, and doing well. But I wish somebody would have come along and kicked me and said, get out there and go to the place. Don't stay in your room. So yeah, the most important thing is to stay focused on who God wants us to be in our relationships with others. And if we want to find the right kind of friends, we need to be the right kind of person. Okay, any questions on any of this? Okay, well, we will pick up here with healthy dating relationships on Monday.